Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
Famous Dave.
And this is Fresh Meat 1, episode 1 and episode 2 recap. We're going back in time, Dave, in honor of its appearance on Netflix. Right now, you could tune in and watch along, follow along.
That's awesome. I didn't even realize it was on Netflix. I went on Paramount Plus to find it. That makes sense.
Okay, so let's get on to episode 2. Deliberation. Okay, all I have written down is that, Danny and Evelyn are voted in first, right? But Johanna, she voted for herself instead of tying up the votes. Do you remember something like that?
No, I don't remember.
Danny made a huge stink about it, and I'm like, he's kind of right. Like, yeah, they could have voted in Tanya and Johnny. It was possible, but Johanna just voted for herself, not to make waves. Because after that's when Danny is yelling at Wes. He's like, dude, you pissed everyone off, and now we're going to go against each other. And also, your fucking girlfriend voted for herself. You know what I mean? Like, he's very frustrated.
Yeah, Johanna should have been working with Wes, obviously, and voting together.
Yeah. This isn't the last time that Johanna's going to make a questionable decision. I mean, well, for sure. That's going to be on her tombstone. Questionable decisions.
Wait until the island.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay, you want to get into what would you call this one? It's called Bushwhack, but it's like for safety, right? Would it be called Immunity Challenge or something in other places?
Yeah, I guess it'd be the Immunity Challenge.
Yeah, something like that, right? So Danny and Wes, they have to win in order to pardon themselves, or at least, yeah, they have to win. Do you remember anything about this? You're on stumps. You're throwing a ball at each other.
I don't even remember that part. They were on stumps throwing a ball at each other.
Yeah, it's like a rope. It's like a medicine ball on a rope, and you're all standing on stumps together, you and your partner, and you have to like shove it at each other. You can't hold on to the rope for more than 3 seconds. No, nothing.
I don't remember any of this. I must have been looking at my phone during that part of the episode.
Well, can you guess? Can you guess who won?
Wes? I don't know.
No, he goes into elimination, so there's no way he could have won.
So I'm confused. They already Evan and Coral won. They voted in Wes. So wouldn't Wes and Danny be going to exile now?
No. There's an extra step. In episode 2, they go into the woods again, and whoever wins this wins safety no matter what. So Wes and Casey have to try and win, and so does Danny and Evelyn. Otherwise, they will go against each other for sure. That's when they're on those stumps. Yeah. And they have to
definitely did not see this part of the episode.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Coral and Evan win once again. What?
That's definitely interesting. So they have like kind of an out to try and get out of there going in. So at least they have an opportunity to get out of it.
Yeah. And Danny doesn't make it. He ends up falling down with Evelyn, and that's when he starts he kind of throws his helmet and storms off into the woods and stuff, and holy shit, he's gonna have a lot of those moments in his career.
Yeah, that's kind of just Danny.
Yeah. Coral and Evan win. I think it's because after a while they were just gunning for Wes and Casey, because I think Wes and Casey were fourth to fall, and then it's Darrell and Aviv. And it looked like Darrell was just like, I'm okay. I think the idea is to get rid of this alliance first. So he kind of seems to be okay just falling off. And then it's between Johnny and Tanya and Coral and Evan. But right away, Johnny and Tanya are yelling at each other and stuff like that. It's all very, very just oh God, you guys should not be together. Toxic, Dave.
I remember nothing about Johnny.
What?
I remember nothing about Johnny. Like
I'm
rewatching this
concerned
episode.
about your memory in general, Dave. You didn't even remember this thing. Okay, but what's cool though, this is what they win. Because remember, there's prizes back in the day. A Samsung slider phone
All
with
right.
one with a whole year of service for free.
Oh,
That's nice.
amazing.
Like
Slider
how much
phone.
would that be? How much like that's a good prize. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the Exile. This is where it's revealed that you don't watch the Exile. In fact, I really like this, the way they do this. Like they have to like put, they're blindfolded and they drive to wherever the
Yeah.
Exile is. And they do the thing, but then it's a mystery to who actually won when the car shows up for everyone else back at the house. And then you're like, who won? That's awesome. I really like
Yeah,
that.
the reveal of who steps out and who wins.
Yeah.
And like the way that they're able to like edit that in a way where for us the viewers, like even we don't know who got to the finish line, and then you can just show them like stepping out and then be like, oh, it was so and so, and then you could go back and show like the final part of
Oh
the
yeah.
exile. It's pretty
It's a
awesome.
nice touch. Really nice touch.
Yeah, and it
Okay,
I think
so
it's also awesome, like when you watch like an elimination on current seasons, you all you do is you have everyone standing above, and they're all just yelling down the answers and telling people what to do, trying to help them, and it's very nice to have an elimination where you're not getting help. Like Evelyn is trying to figure out the puzzle. She doesn't have like people like, hey, do this, do that.
oh yeah, I agree. Um, I mean, if they could include people watching the Exile, you could have them kind of stretched out. So it's a and they could have like water for you and shit, like marathons and shit like that. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, I wouldn't mind
protein
that.
powder.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, because like I like the fact of at the UFC you could see UFC fighters in the crowd. That's the coolest shit of all time. So that's kind of like an elimination, where people are like, oh my god, go, but they're not like saying, oh my gosh, throw the left or like help with the puzzle and shit like that.
Hmm.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah,
For
take
sure.
that piece, put it on the ground, use that other piece, put that up there, and then not that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, grab that piece. And you're just like, okay, you're just walking them through the puzzle.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about the weight. Do you feel this is fair?
Yes and no. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like Danny is like, well, I had half of Melinda's stuff in my bag because I was trying to be a good boyfriend. And like Wes, I'm not sure how much weight he had. I don't remember what it was, but it
I
definitely
have it
wasn't
all written down.
okay. It wasn't as much as Danny's. I know that.
Wes had 56 pounds. Casey had 57 pounds. Wes, what's up, buddy? You pack as much as a girl. Come on. You know who doesn't pack like a girl whatsoever? Evelyn, 47 pounds.
Nice. Well, I mean, she's got tiny clothes. Her shoes are probably only that big.
Danny had 103 pounds.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh, that is so much more than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like a 20-pound difference.
So they have all that weight, but the cool thing is you don't have to. You can carry as much weight as you want because eventually like, Wes carries all the weight, and he's like, Casey, just run ahead. I got
Yeah.
this. So I kind of like this idea of like when they get to a checkpoint, you could either choose to do it and win a prize, or you could just fucking just run. I like that. I like it a lot. The first one is like checkers. You have to like bounce things, and then if you solve that, you get 1 minute off your time. After a while, Wes is like, "Fuck this!" Like he's like, Shh, "Casey, we're gonna run. We're gonna pretend we're still doing the puzzle, but we're gonna take off." So Danny feels comfortable trying to do that puzzle because they were both working on it last time he knew.
Hmm.
So he does finish it, but he's just like 1 minute off your time. He's like, it took like a minute to do it or something like that. The second part is where you got to remove the sticks. This is what we watched in Spies, Lies, and Allies. Remember that? Where they had to move those missiles and make like three squares?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
That's where I knew this from, where I'm like, I've seen that somewhere. You know what I mean? But Evelyn, it sucks. I mean, like Wes, he's like, we're not even gonna try. Just grab the flag, we're taking off, right? Evelyn does try, but she like moved a stick more than once, like right away. She didn't really comprehend the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. At least you didn't
And the
try to make a
prize.
triangle out of it like Nelson did.
I'm gonna defend him. I feel like he was throwing out ideas when no one else was. Well, anyways, the prize though would have been you jump in the truck and just drive to the finish line. That would have been great. And this was the chance, but Evelyn kind of fucked it up. She didn't comprehend it right. So in the end, the surprise return is Wes and Casey. So it's really weird that Evelyn is gone and all that future potential, you know. But we see this again in Fresh Meat too, where Car Maria is gone in the first episode. But we're like, Jesus Christ, like that was a future queen right there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wes and Casey, though, I did like this part at the end where he's like, Casey, we're gonna run every day. Because if indeed we win, if we beat them by that minute or whatever, like it's pointless going back if you can't run, you know. So Wes has gone from like being like kind of mean, like him saying like you're worthless, and now he's like you're worthless, but we got to work on it now. You know what I mean? So it's like you love him, you
Yeah.
hate him.
Yeah,
The
he
pendulum
decides he's gonna try
swings.
and coach her up. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she's like, she sees Wes carrying both bags as Casey's, going across the finish line, and he's got all the weight, and Wes has got it all on his back, and Brooke is just like, yeah, I see where Wes gets his ego from, because he's like he carried Casey to get a win, and then he does it again and again for a couple episodes.
Maybe that's why he chose her. He's like, I need a damsel in distress. Because he could have picked Diem, but he's like, Diem's probably going to be helping me. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be like,
He didn't
fucking
want to get
run.
Yeah, he didn't want to get shown up. He's like, I have to be the best person on this tag team, all right? I don't want like an Evan Coral situation where they're both awesome.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of Diem, really quick, they should have called her Damn. Like, she is fine as hell. Like, like, I haven't seen her in a while. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is the
it's
part.
super sad when they're introducing her and like talking about her story, like knowing how everything played out. Like every time I watch it, and I've seen it multiple times, like it still gets me every time.
Yeah, for sure. And knowing that Derek and her have this romance in this season, it seems so odd. Like
Yeah,
you forget that like before CT there was Derek.
yeah. Derek is like so young and dumb, and like watching Derek now, I still feel like he's equally dumb. I don't feel like he got any smarter over the last 15 years. But like back then, Derek, it's at least kind of, it's kind of cute in a way where you're like, oh, he's just young and naive. You don't realize like he's never going to mature more than this.
He still has the same amount of hair. Whereas
Yeah.
like it looks like give it up, buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I like this part where Casey lies about the exile. Just because it's like they owe them nothing. You know what I mean? Like them lying about it now makes sense because they're just lying to other people. They're not lying to their own alliance. That
Mm,
was the mistake with CJ and what's her name, where they were lying to their own alliance. That's what made no sense.
yeah.
But yeah, that was the end of episode 1 and episode 2. It's great. There's so much potential here. There's so many storylines that can be built upon. But for now, that's all we have. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm just gonna wrap this up, I guess. You have anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
No. Yeah.
What do you think about YouTube getting rid of the dislike button?
Have they?
Well, I mean, it's there, but it doesn't show you the amount of dislikes.
There we go. Yeah, I was like, no, there's a dislike button, but it doesn't show the amount. Exactly. I
Yeah.
don't know. That is weird.
I think it's dumb as shit. It's the same thing on like Facebook stuff. Like, I want to see likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
There should always be likes and dislikes. It doesn't make any sense without it. It's like if you're on Rotten Tomatoes reviewing a movie, like it's 100%, but we could only count the ones that were positive. Like, it makes no sense.
Well, with all that being said, please don't dislike the podcast.
I know, but the thing is, if we're doing a bad job and someone dislikes it, I would like to be aware so then I can leave a comment and get into a comment war or something.
All right, listeners, viewers, Dave has said a load of hogwash over the years, but this has got to take the cake. Dave never listens to his own product. You never listen to the show if you're on it or not. So
That's true. I'm like a private contractor. I clock in, I clock out, I go home, I leave work at work.
That's great. I would love it if, like, you're talking about the Challenger, Brooke is like, no, in there or out there, not in here.
Yeah, you're off the clock, Dave. Stop talking about Wes. Sorry.
That's great. All right, well, hey, this was fun. Episode 3 and 4 are coming around next week. So like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
Famous Dave.